Alright YouTube, this is part 2 of the APR install and routing of the hose. So in my first video I mentioned some of the comments that the fitment with the hose riding along here, going through this opening that I made, was going to clear the tires turning. Luckily, I put the wheel back on, and being that the car's on a lift, I was able to turn the wheels left and right, and when I turned the tires and the wheels on this way, I realized that I was going to be destroying this. So I decided to push it back the way that I had it before, which is essentially right underneath the cross member. So I had drilled this hole here. I just sprayed some paint on there to keep rust from forming or any oxidation. And the reason why I wanted to bring the ductwork as far out as possible is because it was getting a little bit of wear just from rubbing on the chassis. So what I've devised is here on this part of the chassis, I've installed a rubber seal type of a hose. This is leftovers from my Cobb intake, actually. So, or box, if you will. They give you this stuff in there, so I have a bunch of it left over, so I'm using it in different places, such as here as well. But I'm sure you can get this online at McMaster-Carr, and then just look for the specifications that you need. Anyway, this guy goes there, and then this one, there's another one right over here. I don't know if you guys can see it because of the lighting, it's kind of bad. But there it is. And what this will give me is peace of mind when I can now take this duct, attach it right there. It still runs through the cavity here. It's all just pushed in, and I don't mind having this additional space. That's not a problem. But what'll happen is now, once I put this back on, it'll be resting right on this rubber lip, and any movement will be absorbed with this. It'll be this rubbing on that, and not necessarily a metal edge. And the same thing with the one right underneath here. So that addresses my concerns with this. You can see previously there were some rub marks here from this plastic that have been protected. So it is very important, I guess, to do these things. And the other thing that I had to do is, if you notice, this duct is not round as it passes through here, so I had to just flatten it with my hands, and that's okay. Now it's more oval, so it's round. It's an oval section, and it goes round again, and that's no big deal. And again, I really hate that the hose got all these scuffs and these marks here from just rubbing in against this. But hopefully when I have to replace this is just a consumable, so I'll already have known, you know, that this needs to go there, nice and flush. And yeah, what I plan on doing is just marking a line here with a Sharpie where this thing needs to be, so when I'm at the track I can see if the hose is shifted anywhere, and thus avoid any contact points. The main ones in this case are, I'm not too concerned about the tie rod. You know, there might be a little tiny bit of slide in here, but I'm concerned with this being an all-wheel drive vehicle, you know, any contact with the drive shaft. So I don't know if we can see that there. But the last thing I want is this contacting or touching there. So I need to make sure that I know that the zip tie between two lines or at a line, however I'm going to index this or mark it, I know that when I look at it at the track, if it's there, then I don't have issues. If I see that it's shifted, then I just need to make sure that I go back and I adjust it and do a better job zip tying it or attaching it. I like to do more research, excuse me, to see how race cars actually attach these things. But so far these high temp zip ties have been great. I use them all over the car, so I guess that's what it's all about. Just coming out with your own solutions and making it work. So my apologies on the misinformation on the first video. Hopefully this rectifies that. And yep, can't wait to go on the track.